Well, this is a fun video to film because it was a great sales week. I had a really high ASP on both Poshmark and eBay, ASP standing for average sales price, and it's because I had some really great high dollar items sell. And I'm also going to be sharing with you my October numbers, and October happened to be my second best month of the entire year, and let's hope that I can keep that trajectory going as we finish out 2023. Thank you for hanging out with me. This is a What Sold video. Hi everyone, my name is Becky Park and I am a part-time reseller, which means when I'm not teaching, that's my full-time gig, I'm a high school choir teacher, and when I'm not momming to my two kids, when I'm not busy with my church and just doing all the different things that I do, I am buying things to sell on reselling markets online like Poshmark, eBay, Mercari, my own website, whatnot, all these different places, and I am finding things to sell at places like thrift stores, consignment stores, garage sales, what have you. It is a great side hustle and basically the only thing that I talk about on this YouTube channel. So if you're interested in learning about how to make some really great income on the side of whatever else it is that you're doing in your life, then definitely make sure to subscribe and check out some older videos on tips and tricks on how to make a successful side hustle with reselling. So in today's video, what I'm going to be sharing with you is everything that sold for me within the span of a week. This is a great resource in terms of learning about what kinds of brands and styles and even like articles of clothing are selling well for people like me. And like I said, this is a great week because I did sell some really great high dollar items. And so let's just jump right into it. So we're going to start by talking about Monday, which was October 30th. I had zero sales in the traditional sense. I did not sell anything on platforms like eBay or Poshmark, but I did run a whatnot show. This was another show where I was unboxing some stuff that I got from a reseller whose inventory I bought out from her. And rather than just like going through the stuff and, you know, kind of reselling in the traditional sense, taking pictures, looking up, you know, comps in regards to how much I should price items for, and waiting for someone to buy the item and then shipping it out to them, I decided I would do an unboxing of the items online on Whatnot. Whatnot is a really cool reselling platform where instead of, again, like people having to take pictures of items and people buying them in the traditional sense, sellers have live shows. And during those live shows, they are showing their audience what it is that they have to sell, and people in the audience can bid in the moment because it's a live show. And so really the items will only sell to whoever is in that show at that time. So I have been going live Monday evenings at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. And if you want to hang out with me and continue doing this unboxing with me, I'm going to be hanging out on Whatnot at 9 o'clock Central Standard Time. So come hang out, come see what it is that I'm selling. You don't have to buy anything. You can just hang out and chit chat and learn about reselling and do all those kinds of things. But it's a really fun place to be. So I did, you know, unbox some items in that reseller buyout. I sold 24 of them, and that resulted in $163 in sales. Once you factor in like Whatnot's fees, that total drops to $122.85. I'm saying I had $3 into each item, which I think is a little high, but it's kind of like an estimate based off of how much I thought was in these bins and boxes and bags, and basing that off of how much I paid the reseller for all of her stuff. So I'm saying I had about $3 into each item, and so my cost of goods was $72 for those 24 items, and so my net profit on that Whatnot show was $50.85. I am finding that it's not as profitable to do this kind of like unboxing thing, but I don't even know that that's necessarily because of the unboxing nature of it. I just think I'm able to get through less pieces in one sitting doing an unboxing versus if I have stuff loaded into the show. So I don't know. It's like I'm okay with that. And honestly, I'm pretty close now to, you know, making in profits from these Whatnot shows, from this, you know, reseller buyout. I'm close to making back the amount that I spent on everything. And so like everything that I didn't sell through Whatnot shows, I'm just going to go ahead and list the traditional way. So I am definitely going to be making money off of this buyout, but it was just kind of a fun experiment to see like what would happen if I did an unboxing on Whatnot. So again, come hang out if you're interested in that. I do have a code that you can use, and that allows you to get $15 of Whatnot credit to shop with actually. So, you know, it's like just pop into a Whatnot show. It doesn't even have to be mine, but you can literally try it out for free. Maybe just get something from someone's show that you can resell yourself, and now you've actually made money off of Whatnot. So definitely check it out if that's something that you're interested in, but I've been having a blast over there. So moving on to Tuesday, which was Halloween. I actually had decent sales. I had one really great sale. So over on Poshmark, I sold this loft preppy striped schoolboy blazer. It had gold buttons up the front. It was in a size small small, and it had like pink and purple stripes. When I tell you that I've had this now for like 4 years in my inventory, like I've had this for a long time. This is one of the reasons I do not pick up Loft anymore. Like I picked this up 4 years ago for $5 at a Goodwill, but I don't pick up Loft anymore. And it's because if this same blazer had said J. Crew on the tag, or if it had said, I don't know, like so many other brands, even mall brands, if it had said Talbots, if it had said, obviously, like Veronica Beard, or, you know, whatever, if it had said a different brand name on that tag, this probably would have sold a long time ago. But there's so much Loft online on reselling platforms like Poshmark and eBay. And that's why for me, it sits forever and ever. I go out of my way not to list Loft because I just don't think that it's worth it. I think they make beautiful clothes. I think it's great quality. It's just not going to sell for very much online. And if you list it, you're probably going to be sitting on it for quite some time. So this did finally sell for $22, which is a lot. Given that I've been sitting on it for so long, you would think that I would have sold this for like $5 or something, but it sold for $22. That was with discounted shipping because it was an offer that, Posher VA sent out on my behalf 5 minutes after someone liked the item. And so after, my cost of goods, after Poshmark's fees, after shipping discounts, my net profit on that item was $10.58. So, it comes out to like $2.25 a year on this item. Never again. Moving on, I sold this pair of 9 West Xena floral satin brocade slip-on loafer flats in a size 10M. This could have fallen into the same fate as that Loft blazer, in that 9 West is another brand that's extremely saturated on reselling markets. But the reason I picked these up pretty recently, I picked these up maybe last year. I picked them up at a pop-up consignment sale that happens in my town twice a year. And my average cost of goods for that shopping day was $10.05. These were not $10.05, but I'm saying that I had $10.05 into them so that I could just, come up with an easier cost of goods. But these ended up selling for $25. And the reason I picked these up in the first place is, one, regardless of the fact that it's a very saturated brand, I picked it up because it was in a bigger size. There's not as many size 10s as there are like size 6s, size 7s, size 8s, in shoes for women. Size 10, you're already kind of like niching it down a bit. There are a lot of people out there looking for that shoe size and not able to find as many shoes in that shoe size online. So for that reason, I picked them up. And also I thought they were really cute. I love the brocade on them. I thought they were pretty special, and that's the reason why I picked them up. So my net profit on those was $9.95. So do you have to stay away from super saturated brands? Not really, but if you're picking up a brand like 9 West or Loft or, Ann Taylor, those kinds of brands, it's gotta have a lot of special qualities to it, whether it's the size, whether it's the style, what have you. It's gotta have a lot of reasons as to why you're picking that sucker up. Otherwise, you're gonna be stuck with many of those items for many, many years, and that's ridiculous. On eBay, I had a great sale. So it was this Cynthia Ashby, which is a great kind of like, they make a lot of like oversized, kind of relaxed fit, log and look type pieces. This was a cropped printed funnel neck, turtleneck sweater. A lot of their pieces are one size fits most or one size fits all, especially their tops are like that. This sold via an offers to watchers for $67.90. This was something that I had listed under 2 weeks. It was something that I got at the same pop-up consignment sale. However, it wasn't from last year. It was just from in October. So it was just from like 2 weeks prior, and I had $8 into that sweater. So my net profit on that sweater was $51.02. I have had so much luck with this brand, and the label looks so unassuming. It looks like it's something that you could get at like TJ Maxx or something, but it's a pretty expensive brand. So definitely stop if you see it. Make sure that you run comps on the item that you have. But more often than not, most pieces by this brand are going to be worth the pickup if you're paying less than $10 for it. On Mercari, I sold this pair of AGL, which stands for like Attillo. I don't even remember. I didn't write all of it down. I just wrote AGL. It's a great like Italian brand. It was this pair of beige leather pumps, and it had like a patent leather cap toe. Again, these were in a size 10, and even if they weren't, I probably would have picked them up, except I wouldn't have picked them up for as much as I did. I bought these for $15 at a local consignment store, and if they had been like a size 6, I would not have paid $15. I would have paid $5, but 15, I was only willing to pay that much because of the size. These ended up selling for $44 on Mercari, and I made a net profit of $22.55. You know, even with them being a size 10, these took a little bit longer to sell, close to a year. So just because something is a size 10 doesn't mean that it's going to sell super fast, but I was confident that these would sell at some point and, you know, make me a net profit of over $20, and I was correct in that regard. Moving on to November. So November 1st, which was a Wednesday, I had another great sale on Poshmark. It was an Aritzia brand. The brand was TNA, and this was the Bancroft Mountaineering Black Down-Filled Parka Jacket in a size extra small. So this sold for $74, and one of the reasons why this was such a great sale is because this was something that a friend of mine just gave to me before he moved. He moved like 2 years ago at this point, so I've had this stuff for a while, but he moved and gave me a bunch of stuff that he no longer wore and that his wife no longer wore. It was mainly his stuff, because his mom apparently likes to shop for him a lot. His mom. And like, I would say that the stuff that he gave me that was like men's clothing was probably higher quality than women's clothing. But this was a pretty nice jacket. I mean, it's Aritzia. It was down-filled. There was a lot going for it. I did sit on it for a while. I did get a lot of lowball offers on it, but it did finally sell on Poshmark for $74. And so my net profit on that was $57.20. On Thursday, I had one sale on Poshmark. It was another great sale. It was by the brand Bumpsuit, and it was the Stevie Toffee, that was the colorway, maternity turtleneck unitard jumpsuit in a size small. So Bumpsuit is a new to me brand. I came across this item at the pop-up consignment sale, you know, in October. I was looking through the dresses, and this was in the dress section, although it's not a dress. I touched it, you know, I felt it to like move it to the side, and I was like, oh, this feels good. Like, it kind of has the feel of like old Lululemon almost, but like a little bit more buttery. I don't know. It just felt so luxurious. So I stopped and I looked at the label. The label did not look impressive to me. It kind of looked like Miss Look. You know that brand. Like, you look at it and you're like, oh, it's Miss Look. It is not. It is Miss Look. Like, Major Look, Miss Look. And it kind of looked like that. Like, the font was kind of similar to that. So I was like, I don't know. This does not look like it's going to be anything special. I looked it up on Poshmark and was dumbfounded. Comps for this brand, comps for like jumpsuits specifically by this brand, amazing. And it looks like it's one of those types of things that you can wear if you're pregnant, but you can also wear it if you're not pregnant. It's not like there's going to be all this extra fabric here if you're not pregnant. You can still wear it even if you're not pregnant and look amazing in it. And so I saw that it was marked at $40, and I was like, okay, I'm going to wait till half off day. I just feel like most people in my town are not going to pay $40 for something like this. And I felt like even the resellers in my town who were coming to this event, I felt like they wouldn't know about this brand. And I was like, I'm just going to wait and hope that it's here on half off day. I waited, went to the dress section. It was still there. I picked it up for $20. It sold for $75, and my net profit on that was $40. So if you see anything by this brand, Bumpsuit, oh my goodness, you need to pick it up. It sold so fast, like within a week of being listed. Friday, which was November 3rd, on Poshmark, I sold this ASOS partially lined light wash denim trucker jacket in a size 12. It was flawed. It had a lot of like stains. This was something that I got for free from a reseller named Becky, who just out of the goodness of her heart sent me 2 boxes of inventory. I did an unboxing of this first box, not knowing that she had another box on the way. And then I got another box from her maybe a few weeks later. It was so nice of her. And that first box, which is what this item was in, was just filled with like a ton of jackets, a lot of outerwear. I've slowly been listing that stuff and it has been selling. This one, again, like there were some flaws on it, so I wasn't expecting it to sell for very much. I listed it for $25. It sold for $20. And so my net profit on that was $16 because I had nothing into it. Becky sent that to me for free for God only knows what reason. Like, I don't know why she chose me of all the resellers in the world to send stuff to. I'm so thankful that she did. I'm like beyond thankful because what a gift, what a blessing. So thank you, Becky. And there's a lot more to come from her. So just stay tuned. Stay tuned to see what else I list from her and how much it sells for. There have been some really, really great pieces. On eBay, okay. I sold this pair of Democracy Ab Technology gray cargo pants in a size 6. I had picked up Democracy before and like had kind of bemoaned on, you know, YouTube about how they took me so long to sell. They didn't even sell for that much. And everyone was like, girl, you can only pick up the ab technology from Democracy. That's what sells. Nothing else sells. It's your fault. It's your fault for picking up Democracy bottoms that did not have ab technology in it. So I was like, okay, noted. All these people left all these comments saying all the things. I got it. I will not pick up Democracy unless it has ab technology on it. I was at my local consignment store. They were having a sidewalk sale. They had 2 pairs of Democracy pants. One was a pair of jeans. One was this pair of cargo pants with the ab technology. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to try it out because everyone swears by this brand, especially with the ab technology. I'm not going to make the mistake of, selling it without the ab technology. I'm going to make sure that this has it. It does. Good. Coming home with me. I paid $3.75 for these, which is pretty good, right? These sold for $24.99. They were promoted at 3%. But here's what happened. Like I said, I got 2 pairs. I got 2 pairs of Democracy pants that same day. This sold. I looked at my computer, I looked at the picture, I looked at the listing title, and I was like, okay, I gotta go get those jeans, those Democracy jeans. Pulled them out, packaged them up beautifully, shipped them off, got a message from the buyer being like, these are not the right pants. I did not order these. And I look and I'm like, oh my God, you're so right. Like, you ordered the cargo pants. Why did I look at the picture, look at the listing title, and say to myself, let me go get those jeans? Like, I have a visceral memory of looking at my computer and being like, jeans, Democracy jeans, done, let me go get them. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. You're absolutely right. I will send you a shipping label so that you can get me the wrong pair back, and I will get these shipped out to you ASAP. And she was so nice. She was so understanding, so accommodating. So I paid for a shipping label to get the pants back to me. I sent the correct pair to her. She got them and she's like, I love them. But like, here's the thing. So for some stupid reason, I paid $12.44 to get these shipped out to her. I don't know what I did. Like, I don't know what was wrong with my brain in that moment when I was shipping these out. First, I pulled the wrong pair of pants, thinking to myself that I was getting the right pair. I, got the wrong pants, and then I pressed the wrong thing on eBay and somehow purchased an eBay option that forced me to pay $12.44 to get these out to her. I don't even think that these weighed over a pound, so I should have shipped these out ground, and I probably should have been able to ship these for like $6, $7. If they did weigh over a pound, they absolutely would have fit in a padded flat rate envelope, which should have only cost me $8.30. I don't know what happened in this moment that I paid $12.44 to ship these out. So that was money sucker number 1. Money sucker number 2 is the fact that I had to pay for a shipping label to get this back from her, and that shipping label through Pirate Ship cost $7.96. And third of all, I don't remember what the third of all is. So all in all, when all that was said and done, after all the shipping fiascos and whatever, I stand to make a profit of $3.12 on this. This, I think, is my sign that I'm just done with Democracy. Like, maybe there's money to be made with this ab technology, but now I'm scarred. You know what I'm saying? Like, now it's like the same reaction that people have to dogs after they've been attacked by a dog as a child. I now see Democracy and I'm like, oh, like I have like this like just reaction to it. Like, I'm scared of it. It just has left such a bad taste in my mouth. So you're welcome, local resellers, to me. Like, I will leave it all behind for you. I want nothing to do with it anymore. Moving on. On Mercari, I sold this Pronto Uomo purple 100% extra fine merino wool V-neck sweater in a men's size extra large. I got this from a reseller buyout, and I had about $3.85 into everything that I got from her. I was pretty excited about listing this. I thought it was like a good season to list it. It's a good piece. It's great for the office. However, upon further inspection, as I was photographing it, I realized there were some holes, there were some issues. And like I talked about in last week's What Sold video, just because something has a flaw does not mean that it will not sell. It's going to sell for less, but it's still going to sell. You can at least make back the money that you spent on it rather than just donating it. Although, if that's your cup of NFT, that's fine too. I want to make as much money as I can on items. I don't want to lose money. And so even though there's not as much money to make, if the items in my house, I've purchased it, whether it's, traditionally through like a Goodwill or consignments or whatever, or whether it's through a reseller buyout, I want to make as much money as I can off of those items. So I went ahead and listed it. It sold for $12.25, and I did make a net profit of $6.11. So I didn't lose money on it. I have a little bit more money to put towards better inventory. I'm going to call it a win. I did have a Kidizen sale this day, which is crazy because I don't sell a lot on Kidizen. I actually stopped listing on Kidizen probably a month ago. I decided I'm really only going to list now on Poshmark, eBay, and Mercari. If it's like a really cool item, like a streetwear item, or like something that a Depop person would like, I'm going to go ahead and list it on Depop. But I have stopped listing on Kidizen, Facebook Marketplace, because I don't make enough sales over on those platforms to warrant cross-listing over there. And even though they don't take a lot of time to list on, like, what is the point? So I'm only listing on really 3 to 4-ish platforms, but I did not like delete all of my old listings on Kidizen. So this happened to still be there. It was this pair of vintage Gap black snow pants. They were like in a unisex kid size 5. They're perfect for the winter. And these sold for $18. That was an offer that I got on Kidizen. I accepted. Now on Kidizen, I do pay for shipping. So after shipping, after Kidizen fees, my net profit on those pair of snow pants was $10.19. Those were something that someone at my church gave to us. We have 2 kids, and every year they need a different size snow pant because they grow, from winter to winter they grow, and they can't wear the same snow pants that they wore the last year when they went outside to play in the snow. And a family at my church, they gave me like all of their kids' old snow pants so that our kids could like keep growing into them, and that's been very nice and very helpful. So the ones that like my kids no longer wear, I just go ahead and list because everyone needs snow pants for the very reason that I just explained. Everyone's kids outgrow last year's snow pants. And that's exactly, I think, what happened, which is why someone purchased these. And I was very excited to make $10.19 of profit on something that was given to me for free. On Saturday, which is November 4th, on Poshmark, I had some great sales. So the first one was by the brand Jada Gypsy. Jada Gypsy is a brand that I learned about from this pop-up consignment sale that I go to twice a year. There are a few consigners who just have very expensive taste, and it's not just expensive taste. It's not like they're buying St. John, they're not buying like Chanel, but they're buying very kind of like artsy fartsy looking things. They're very like, again, log and look, very baggy, very relaxed, very oversized, very interesting prints. Like, you could call some of it bohemian. So it's a lot of brands like the Cynthia Ashby that I talked about, Jada Gypsy, Magnolia Pearl, Dress to Kill. These brands show up every year. And every year, these items by these brands are marked a little bit higher than, your average American Eagle or Loft or Talbots or what have you. And like many sales ago, I stopped to look up comps for these brands and was very pleasantly surprised. With Jada Gypsy in particular, there's not a lot of it online. I think that it's not a brand that's sold in like stores. I want to say it's sold through trunk shows, maybe like some boutiques, like online boutiques and stuff, but it's a lot of one-of-a-kind pieces. It's very interesting, and it's very expensive retail. So the people who know about this brand and follow this brand, like, they really like it. And I think those are the kind of people looking for pieces by this brand online on places like eBay and Poshmark, what have you. So this particular piece was the Moonlight Rising Flannel Red Plaid Tunic. It was in a size small/medium. I put the word log and look in the listing title because that's one of the main things that I think people like about this brand. It was just a really cool piece, and there was a lot of Jada Gypsy that I left behind because they're starting to mark these things up really high, but I picked this one up because I thought it was perfect for the season. I thought it was a perfect like fall going into winter type piece. It had cool like bleach marks all over it. Like, it was just a really cool piece. I sold it for $70. I had 24 into it because, again, they were pricing things pretty high. I think that was the half off price, and so my net profit on that was $32. It sold really fast, again, within 2 weeks of being listed, and I was very happy with that sale. The next thing to sell was this Nike U of I, which is University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign. That is the college campus that I live near. And it was It was a Fighting Illini navy pullover hoodie in a size large. That sold for $15. This was something that I got from a coworker of mine who does a consignment deal with me. So anything that sells and gives me less than a $25 profit, I give her 40% of. So she made $4.80 on that, and I made $7.20 on that. The only reason I listed it is because these kinds of things I will still list over on Facebook Marketplace, because I'll put them in like those garage sale groups, or just kind of thinking that like maybe I'll get a local sale off of it. I do feel like I get a lot of people that reach out to me whenever I have college gear. And a lot of people did reach out to me about this. The frustrating thing about local Facebook sales is like 9 out of 10 times the person who reaches out to you flakes out on you. You know, like they'll just kind of start ghosting you. They won't respond. Even people that you like agree on a price or something, once you get to the part where you're like, where do you want to meet? Like all of a sudden it's like they disappeared or something. So that's another reason I don't love Facebook Marketplace, but I will go ahead and list like collegiate stuff over there. This sold on Poshmark though, which I thought was silly. And like I said, I made a net profit of $7.20. The next thing to sell was this pair of Vans. It was like a Vans Star Wars collaboration. It had Yoda all over the print, and it was called the Aloha Blue Tropical Floral Print Sneaker from, the Vans Star Wars collab. They were in a size 9.5. I got these at a local consignment store during their birthday sale. So I had $3.47 into them. I didn't even know when I picked them up that it was Star Wars. It was only when I hauled these shoes online, I was, filming a haul video. And as I was looking more closely at them and trying to describe them to you, the viewer, I was like, I don't know, they look kind of like tropical. They've got like a floral print. And I was like, oh my God, is that Yoda all over them? I was like, I feel like that's a Star Wars character. And a lot of you guys let me know in the comments below that the Star Wars collaboration with Vans actually did really well, and that these shoes were pretty sought after and could make some good money. So I think I probably listed them a little too high. I don't remember how much I had them priced at originally, but I did sell them for $40, which is pretty good for Vans for me. I don't get $40 for Vans typically. And so after my cost of goods and after Poshmark's fees, my net profit on those was $28.53. I will take it. The next thing to sell was this vintage Antartex. Never heard of the brand, but it's an older brand. Blue pure new wool mark 100% lamb's wool sweater in a men's size extra large. This was something that I got from a reseller buyout. I had $3.85 into that, and it sold for $35. I was fully expecting to sit on this for years. Like, I don't know. This was one of those things that I just envisioned having to hold on to for a very long time, because it's not the kind of thing that people are searching for by brand. Like, Antartex, like what is that? I don't know. And I feel like there's a lot of wool pieces out there. So there was nothing about this that really stood out. And I was like, I am going to have this forever and ever. It sold in like a week. I was shocked. And so my net profit on that was $24.15. This is not my way of being like, go out there and look for this brand. It's going to make you so much money. Like, don't go adding this to your BOLO list. I personally think this was a fluke. If you know more about Antartex than I do, maybe it is like the best brand in the world and I just was ignorant and didn't know anything about it. Pretty sure that's not the case, but if you know a little bit more about it, let us know in the comments. I'd love to learn from you. And then on eBay, I sold another Jaded Gypsy item this day. It was this denim floral embroidered back snap button-up shirt in a size small/medium. So this is crazy because I got this from that same reseller buyout where I got the Antartex sweater. I had $3.85 into this. I don't know where she found this. Maybe she went to this pop-up consignment sale back in the day and picked it up from that same consignor that I have gotten it from. I don't know, but she wasn't able to sell it, so she sold it to me. I had, again, $3.85 into it. This sold for $80. Now, this one was listed for maybe close to a month. That's still a pretty quick turnaround, and I made a net profit of $64.12 on that item. It's hard to find Jaded Gypsy in thrift stores or places like that. I've never actually found it at a thrift store or even a consignment store. I've only found it at this pop-up consignment sale, so I'm never getting it for less than like $20 or anything like that. But if you find it at like a thrift store or something, amazing. You know, I talk about this brand, I talk about the brand Dress to Kill a lot, and people have learned about this brand from me, and they'll tag me on Instagram when they find an item like at the bins or something, and I'm like, you are finding Dress to Kill or Jaded Gypsy at the bins? Like, that's amazing. And that's one of the reasons why I think these kinds of videos are so valuable, because for these kind of more obscure brands, it's just hard to like learn about them through traditional methods. There's not a lot of people hauling that kind of stuff, but to watch what sold videos and see how much money you can get from these kinds of brands, and then to kind of tuck that knowledge away to pull it out when maybe you come across a brand like Jaded Gypsy or Dress to Kill when you are at your local thrift, when you're at your bins. That's cool. That's amazing to be able to be like, oh my gosh, I remember Becky saying that she sold an item by that brand for $80, you know? So if you're able to find it for cheaper, amazing. And this was one of those instances where I didn't find it, but I did acquire it for so little, $3.85. Yes, please. On Sunday, which was November 5th, on Poshmark, I sold this Under Armour blue and orange hoodie. It was like a sweatshirt, you know, pullover sweatshirt, in a youth size extra large. It said loose fit on the inside of the hoodie, so I put that in there as well. This sold for $10. I got it from a high schooler, not high schooler anymore, she's in college now, but from someone who used to go to my church. And before she left for college, she was like, do you want all of my reselling stuff? And I was like, okay. So it was a lot of like youth stuff. A lot of it was stuff that like her siblings and her no longer wore. I suspect that maybe this was her brother's or something. But, you know, I listed it, made a net profit of $7.05. Love it. The next thing to sell was over on eBay. It was this Ralph Lauren white slim fit 100% cotton button-down shirt in a size extra small. Now, this was something that I got from the reseller buyout that I keep talking about. I had $3.85 into it. And as I was photographing it, I noticed, man, this is not in good condition. Like, I did put the word flawed in the listing title, but there were a lot of little pink, like, discolorations throughout. It seemed like maybe someone washed it in the washer with like a red shirt or something like that, and there was some bleed through on the shirt. So I made sure to put the word flawed in the listing title. I made sure to take pictures of, you know, all the places where that bleed through kind of occurred. I wrote about it in the listing description. This still sold, however, within a week of being listed for $14.90. That was an offer that I sent out to watchers. And so even though, you know, that was something that I had some money into, it's not like I got it for free, I still made a net profit of $8.83. And that's why I keep preaching that you should list items even if they're flawed. Like, that doesn't even mean necessarily that you're going to have to sit on it forever. This sold fast. You know, there's someone out there who is willing to take a chance on a flawed item, especially if it means that they can get it for a little bit less. The last sale that we'll talk about in today's What Sold video was another great sale. It was this pair of UGG Australia Fabrizia, that was the style name, black leather Moto combat boots in a size 9. They were sheepskin lined. I had $10 into those from that consignment sale that I keep talking about, the pop-up consignment sale. They sold for $57.90, and my net profit on those boots was $39.28. And best of all, those sold really quickly too, within a week or two of being listed. I love it when things sell for lots of money in a short amount of time. I mean, that's the ideal recipe for reselling, right? Like, that's what you would love to see happen again and again and again. However, for me, that's not very typical. I think the reason why I had such great high dollar sales this week is because I had just gone to that pop-up consignment sale, and that's where I get a lot of my best items throughout the year, because I'm finding all that Jaded Gypsy, Dress to Kill, all that kind of stuff. Typically though, I'm not finding things of such high caliber, but this week felt good. Like, it felt good to sell things for a high dollar amount and to flip them quickly. So let's talk about my numbers. On Poshmark, I sold 10 items for a gross sales amount of $386. When you factor in discounted shipping, which there wasn't a lot of, I think I only had one sale through Posh VA, and Poshmark fees, that total drops to $305.83. I had $73.17 into those 10 items. So, you know, my average cost of goods per item was $7.31, which is higher than normal. Typically, my cost of goods is like $3, $4, but it was higher because a lot of that stuff was coming from that, you know, pop-up consignment sale, and I was paying up for a lot of things. But my net profit for the week on Poshmark was $232.66. So just to give you an idea of how well the week went for me as far as ASP is concerned, my average sales price on Poshmark was $38.60. That's really good for me. I sell a lot of things for like $15, $20, $25. So to have an average sales price of $38.60, that's pretty high. On eBay, I only sold 5 items, but my gross sales amount was $245.69. Once you factor in eBay fees and any shipping discrepancies there may have been, that total drops to $203.78. I had $29.45 into those 5 items, so that cost of goods was a lot better than over on Poshmark, and my net profit on eBay was $174.33. On eBay, my ASP was even better than on Poshmark. My average sales price on eBay was $49.14. That for me is insane. That's like through the roof. And again, it's not normal, but man, did it feel good. On Mercari, I sold 2 items. That was for a gross sales amount of $56.25. Once you factor in Mercari's fees, that total drops to $47.51. I had $18.85 into those 2 items. That's pretty high. You know, that average cost of goods is like 9 something. And so my net profit on Mercari was $28.66. I had one Kidizen sale, you know, those snow pants, that sold for $18. Once you factor in shipping and Kidizen's fees, that total drops to $10.19. And because I had nothing into those, that was also my net profit, $10.19. On Whatnot, I sold 24 items for a gross sales amount of $163. When you factor in Whatnot's fees, that total drops to $122.85. I had $72 into those 24 items, and so my net profit on Whatnot was $50.85. So in total, if you count non-Whatnot items, I sold 18 items traditionally, but with Whatnot, I sold through 42 items. My gross sales amount was $868.94. That total drops to $690.16 when you factor in shipping and fees. My cost of goods for all of those items was $193.47. And so my net profit for the week was $496.69. Almost $500, which would have felt really good, but $496, that's pretty good. So for the month of October, I made a net profit of $2,015.66, which is not even close to like, what is it, like the $3,666 I wanted to be making per month. To be honest, that's just like not realistic given my life circumstances, given the fact that I don't have that much time to put into my reselling business because I'm so busy with my full-time job. That being said, this is only the second month in 2023 that I was able to get past that $2,000 mark. The last time that I did it was in August. So the hope is that I finish off 2023 strong, that in November and December, I keep having at least, you know, a $2,000 month in profits. That would make me really, really happy. I'm not going to get anywhere near my goal, like I said, but I'm okay knowing that I'm giving my best. Like I'm doing what I can. That's all I can do. I cannot put more hours into my day, and I'm not going to sacrifice like time with my kids or doing a crappy job at work. Like I am just giving my best to all of the things. And if this is the result, I'm happy with that because what else can I do, right? So yeah, I'm gonna celebrate the fact that I made a little bit more than $2,000 in profits. That's really great. And I hope that you are celebrating as well. Let me know down in the comments below, what are you celebrating when it comes to your reselling business? Maybe you're like me and you have a tendency to kind of focus on the negative and focus on like, oh, I didn't meet this goal, or oh, like I'm not doing as well as that person or whatever. But I'm asking you right now, because I think it's good for your soul, I'm asking you, what should you be celebrating within your reselling business? What victories do you have? Because I promise you, if you look for them, there are some, and they are worth celebrating. They're worth applauding yourself over, and I want you to know that I am proud of you. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit that like button on your way out. I love and appreciate all of you so much. Let's end the year strong, and again, thanks for hanging out. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!